I'm so excited. I've got such a special guest here today. Her name is Lygia Ramcharan, and she is an intuitive guide and an oracle reader. She's also an author and a Reiki master. She has just published her own oracle deck called Take Back Your Power, and it is powerful and amazing. And this is how we connected through the oracle magic, because we're on a similar path, and she's a bit ahead of me because she's already got hers out in the world and she's doing a tour, an oracle reading tour. And I just had a dream that I was doing an oracle tour in the United States just a few days ago, and now here I am with you today. So I think it's very like a, I don't know, an omen.
It's a great omen. Awesome.
Yeah, so great to have you here today with me.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this. This is amazing, especially being on tour. We're consulting the guides to help us with our Wi-Fi and all that. But yes, it's I'm excited. I'm really I think that for the most part, the card deck that was self-published is pretty much right aligned with what your summit is about. So that's why I believe we connected, especially at this time. Yeah, it's perfect.
Me too. And as soon as I met you, I went, oh, yeah, like laser beam focus went, we're meant to be connected. We're soul sisters on a similar path, empowering women. And that's why I was so insistent on you being part of this summit as well. I was like, but it's all about what you're doing. Take back your power. Soul path
Yes.
purpose alignment. Yeah.
So very true. Very true. I'm
Yeah.
glad you convinced me.
Yes. It took a little bit because
It's
she's
just
very busy.
we travel from one place to another every weekend, so that's why it was hard to know whether or not we were going to be able to connect. So I'm so grateful that we got this chance.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, at the moment, Lygia's in a hotel room, and you never know because of her beautiful galactic background, but she's on the road being a gypsy, oracle reader. I am so proud of you and your partner for taking the leap into the unknown and following your soul path purpose. This is the birthing of the new feminine paradigm for sure.
Thank you very much. I know this is definitely, it's humbling and life altering. It has been so far. And yes, the card deck has been really well received by so many people. I'm just, again, humbled. So it is, I would have
Yay!
to say, information is, with it being aligned with what you're doing at this time too. This is probably, I'd have to say, it is aligned all over the world. It is
Yeah.
starting to, I could see that as that being the case. It's being aligned all over the world.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. It is time. It is time for us to take our power back in a big
Absolutely.
way. And so you're on the front line doing the work. Thank you for bringing your gifts, your magic, your empowerment to the people that need it. It is time for us to really step into our power and be the leaders, not only of our own lives, but of this movement. So, yay, you're
Absolutely.
here, you're doing
Yes.
it. Thank you.
We're all going to be doing this together, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I'm but one, but there's many, and you're going to be in there too.
absolutely. I'm doing it
Absolutely.
too. Mine have just gone to print, and I'm so excited.
Oh,
I know
I
it's
know
just
what
the
that
beginning,
feeling's
though.
like.
It's like the first step, printing, and then like the next is like getting it out there, right? And that's going to be the fun part. So my first question for you today is, what does leadership mean to you?
Well, when I think of leadership, I think of it being something from the wisdom that we've had so many different life experiences, like very varied, challenging life experiences, and that we want to share it with the people that might need it, for example. And if those people are basically going through the same challenges as we have gone through, then it is literally our duty to share it. So I believe that we become the mentor or the guide, the leader to help in doing that and to help them through their lives while we're connecting with spirit to be able to actually send these messages to them, I believe. And so in that case, it's also spiritually guided leadership.
Love that.
Mm.
Yeah, beautiful. And on that note, do you consider yourself a leader?
I do. I do. And why do I? Well, I'm, plus others, I'm sure, have had a very rich life experience. And I guess the stories of our lives can tell many, many stories to others. But I feel like I've been in a position where I can help in counseling, I can help in others, guiding them just because of the experiences that I've had. Plus, I also believe because of my past life, because I do believe in other incarnations, that we have the wisdom within us that we could draw upon to help others as well. And so I have been told by others, from other readers and myself, that like from what I believe here resonates with me, that I am an old soul. And because of that, inside of me, I have this wisdom in my DNA that is just starting to come out and just shine. And I feel as though that's that part that's coming out, especially when I'm reading for other people. I can see the looks on their faces. I can see if it's resonating with what they're saying. And just the fact that I'm helping them, really, it again humbles me for them to come to me for the guidance. So I do feel as though I am that mentor / counselor / leader for them.
Beautiful. I love that answer so much. I feel exactly the same way. Congruency there,
Right.
Aligned
Yeah.
pathways of bringing our messages to the world. And, I always say, be a lighthouse. So it's like
Yes.
being that lighthouse is a form of leadership, bringing your light to the world. And, what you're
Absolutely.
doing right now in your life, for sure, like that is leadership. Like just taking off, going on the road, spreading the word,
Yes.
being a messenger
And
of hope and empowerment.
that plus leaders don't always have the confidence, but they are placed in a position where they are going to have to exercise a confidence. So we are all built with confidence. We have confidence within us, and that's when it comes out. You don't realize how much you actually have until you start to speak about it, until you start to help others with their problems, and you recognize that, oh yeah, you know what? I actually know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I do think that I definitely can be construed or basically said that I am a leader because of that, the experiences to be able to share.
Yeah, great. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it in your tone, in your energy of that, like soft and sweet strength and confidence. Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And what does old paradigm leadership mean to you?
Old paradigm leadership would be considered as control over others. That's what I would see, rather than utilizing your own wisdom to help others. It's something that is very ancient. It's ancient. And because it's been around for way too long, and it's also spurred more and more control, I think that something's got to give. So it is crumbling, it is changing, and it's just now, what do we do with it? What do we do with what's left?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We can all see it, can't we? It's so transparent and yeah, and so beautiful. Thank you. And what does new paradigm leadership mean to you?
The new paradigm leadership, I would believe, is sharing the wisdom that while we're actually helping to bring a community together. So in that sense, it's not so much about the control. It's not top down control. I believe it is sharing what we have, sharing the experiences, sharing the knowledge that we've gained, even through each experience to others, so that it helps them on their path, on their life purpose path. There's no room for control. Control is basically all over ego. It's ego controlled. And there's no room for that part anymore. You know, I think that the ego has something for us. It protects us in a certain way, but it really likes things the way that it likes things. And we're now in this position where we need to change that. We need to embrace change. And that's where the new paradigm leadership comes in, is that we are now utilizing the wisdom that we have to help others, guiding others. You know,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And what does power mean to you?
Power. Well, when I think of power, actually, I'm kind of weird in that way because I think of my deck. I think of taking back your power. I'm a little bit strange that way, but it's more because of the fact that I know that power could easily have been construed as a top-down construct, like I was mentioning, and how those that sit on top of the, you know, on top of whatever holds the cards and they attempt to control everybody else, or basically in our systems, the systems that are crumbling at the moment. But again, it's not sustainable. It's not something that can be in power forever and ever. Amen. It's basically, now I think of this as coming into our divine power. So that's the weirdness I say. And I think that's another reason why the deck came out at this time, is because we are in this state of taking back our divine power, the energy that we have within us that is divine, so that we can create this world of abundance and compassion and peace and equality that is necessary, in especially with the consciousness rising the way that it is.
Yeah.
It's we just don't have room for a top-down control construct.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. Yeah. I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, that's part of the reason why I wrote my decks as well. I mean, there's many, many reasons, but definitely transforming that power over to power with, and the power within us, and awakening, you know, that sovereignty. And now more than ever, I think, as you know, there's so much going on in the world. And I mean, I think it's always been going on, but it seems like this is a very pivotal time. Are you feeling
Oh,
the
yes.
energy? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You know, not only is it the energy of the time, it's the energy of the, I say, astronomical, astrological aspects that are happening too, because it's all happening at the same time. And with the energies of anger and frustration, the change, there's a card in my deck that's called Deliverance. That's exactly what it is. We are putting out there what we feel inside, and a lot of people are feeling that change of the transformations that are happening, and they're not always easy. So, you know, we're seeing that right now. The energy is very high, and there is, like, once again, just like a wave, it swells and then something has to break. So we're definitely going to be seeing the shifts and changes, I think, after, especially this month. This month is a very heightened amount of energy. So we're going to see some changes coming up in the next couple of months, I think.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. I love that definition of power. And I don't think you're weird at all. I'm like, birds of a feather, we're flying together. I think that's what power means too.
Right.
But when you've been working on an oracle deck, and I know how much work it takes, and dedication and devotion, and hours and hours and hours and hours that goes into it, of course that's what you would think of.
Exactly, right. This was a 9-year project. And because life happened and I trusted the process, I trusted that spirit knew where I was going and that I was going to have it out at the right time. And the same with your decks. I think that's exactly it. We're getting it out at the exact time when people truly need it and it will resonate with people.
Yeah. Yeah, well, for me, I wanted to do a deck as soon as I discovered them, over 30 years ago, during Virtue, way back in the day. And I was doing oracle readings at 17 years old at the, hippie markets and gypsy markets and anywhere I could really for friends. And I just fell in love with oracle readings. And,
Yes.
oracle cards were like my therapist. They were my
Yes,
saving grace.
absolutely.
I was too embarrassed and scared to go to a counselor and open up at a young age. And
Hmm.
so I was quite introverted. And so my oracle decks became my inner guidance system of healing and transformation. And so I
Yes. Yeah.
always wanted to do one. And, it wasn't until I turned 50 that I was like, oh, it's my time now. It's time. I have the wisdom. I have the knowledge. I have transformed my own personal wounds into my wisdom and into my superpowers, and I'm ready now. So, as much as, yeah, the world
Yes.
is ready for what I have, like I'm ready to step into that kind of leadership, and so are you. And
Yeah,
so,
you're
yeah, it's
ready.
all about timing.
Yes, absolutely.
Mine didn't take 7 years. I'm on a 2 year process, but it was swimming around in my imagination and my mind for probably a good decade, you know.
Oh, right.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yes, definitely.
but when things are meant to channel through, that's when they come through for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
And divine alignment. That's why you and I connected. We're so aligned. It's so amazing. I love what
Oh
you're
my
doing.
goodness. That's
So
yeah.
exciting.
I mean, you can't make it up. You just can't make the stuff up.
Yeah. It's all about turning the mundane to the magical. But, my life has never been mundane. It's always been magical, but I always choose the magic.
Oh, absolutely. So do I. I'm very much about that too. Like you were saying about the oracle cards. I think at the very beginning, when someone had planted a seed for me to be able to do my own oracle cards, I thought I'd been reading for quite some time prior to, probably 10 years before, but I never thought that I could do it at the time. And that would have been in 2015. That was quite some time ago. And thinking from then to now, 10 years later, like, wow, a lot has happened. And I think that was the whole thing. When life happens, you resonate with it, you learn so much about it, and you learn so much about yourself. And I think that was one of the major things that happened. So I had to learn what made me tick, what was what was right for me to be able to channel, and how I actually grew as a person with spirit as my guide. And in co-creation, we did this together. Of course, my artist came to be as well, and she's remarkable. So that said, everything aligned. And I do believe that that's another part for new paradigm leadership, because I think that when we start to align together, there's more like telepathy. It feels as though there's more people that share their wisdom together in a field that's different than our regular physical field. And then we have more and more people activated like that. Like we're all basically thinking the same on the same wavelength. And when we are, that's when changes are made in the world. It's
Absolutely.
amazing. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Telepathy is one of my cards in the Awaken the Oracle because I've got two card decks coming out, and that's one of them. It's about intuition and psychic abilities. And I do believe that the new feminine paradigm is awakening those abilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely. They are. Yes,
definitely.
totally agree.
We're on the same page. We're from the same
Yes, we
planet.
are.
And so, my
Yeah.
next question, my dear, is who are your favorite leaders? Who inspires you and lights you up?
Well, I think you're going to find this kind of interesting. I don't actually have anybody that I admire more than others as leaders. I would have to say that because I do believe that most of everyone is once again equal in that sense. But I'd have to say that two people who have been part of my life that I thought, one actually after he'd passed was Dr. Wayne Dyer. And I
Mm.
thought his words were this again, after he passed away, that's when I started to know more about him. And I thought he was brilliant with the way that he came up with a new perspective for us to look at. And that was how a lot of his words would just flow. It was more for us to be able to do the work on our own. And I love that. I think that's absolutely what it was. Like he started a lot earlier to talk about it, and he was kind of like a guru in the field, I believe. But I found that that was just it was brilliant. Just listening to how much he valued how equality did work. And Colette Baron-Reid, another fellow reader.
Oh,
I
yes.
I think she's kind of dear to my heart because I've heard her story. I think that she's come a long, long way. Once again, she's kind of lived an entire life in the amount of years that she's lived, and I think it's some of the things that she's said and her reading. She's an incredible intuitive reader. She's got schools, Oracle school, and so much that she's sharing with the world. So, as a divine feminine, she is really embodying that part of her. She's already taken back her power when, she said her story and is able to help others to do that too. And at this point, too, it's not just about the divine feminine, more like feminine based. It's also recognizing the divine masculine and how everything is balanced. That's what I think is the most important time. Like it's most important about this time is to be balanced in both. But knowing that this is the age of Aquarius, that we're into the equality, the love for humanity, taking in the compassion, which I believe that is the more divine feminine, awakening that divine feminine leadership is about including compassion, gentleness, kindness into your leadership. So I believe Colette is one of those people that I kind of look up to for that. But at the same time, knowing we're all the same in that way, we have that potential within us. We have all of this unlimited potential within us that is now, I believe, awakening. So that's
Yes.
part of this new paradigm that's coming out.
Yeah. Well, I've met Wayne Dwyer, and he's a lovely, lovely man. I
Oh,
gave
did
him
you?
one of my own baby books, and he was just so wonderful. And he
Oh,
looked at me with laser beam eyes and told me this story about how he knew that he, was going to be doing this incredible work during a dark time in his life. But he knew
mm-hmm.
that he would get through it. And he just knew, not in an arrogant kind of way, but just a deep knowingness. And he looked at me, and when he did, I knew that I would be as well. Like he was a reflection of the pathway that I was on. And it gave me
Mm-hmm.
kind of a grounding in knowing who I am and where I'm going. And then about Colette, I love her too. I discovered her when I was in the middle of birthing Wounds to Wisdom. And wow, talk about
Mm-hmm.
like a mirror. She's such a mirror. Like we even dress the same. All her, her clothing and stuff. I've got so many of those beautiful, like sparkly, like I'm like, oh my goodness, twin souls. And so I signed up for her. I did her Oracle school training, even though I've already been doing Awaken the Oracle Within, which is a 7 week awakening your Oracle Within training for about 5 years. I've already
Wow.
developed it myself just because that's what I was told, what
Mm-hmm.
channeled through me. But then I discovered that she had the Oracle school as well. And I was like, oh, I just kind of want to see what she's doing. And oh my goodness, we're so similar. We're like soul
Right.
sisters, you know? And I think there are people that are so much like so aligned with you, like you and I as well.
Mhm.
And that's why we connect with Colette, because we need these mirrors. We need the mirrors to reflect back to us this confirmation that we're doing good. We're on the right path. We're doing our soul purpose alignment work and to keep going. You know, like I
Absolutely, yes.
really it's so important because there aren't a lot of female empowered leaders doing this kind of work in the world that are revered and honored and respected. And Colette is one of those women. And it's so
Mhm.
inspiring to see
Yeah.
because then it helps us keep going forward with our mission, right?
Yes. I believe too, there's a number of readers and of mediums and psychics that are out there as well that are underrated in that sense.
Yeah.
Just because we see we see leaders, we think of people who are famous, I say famous. And the individuals that probably have gotten to where they are by undisclosed means, shall we say. And to me, it's not embodying the authentic self. And if we can recognize the people who have actually lived their lives, they've gone through the trouble, they've dealt with the issue of lack, and they've overcome it. To me, that those are the individuals that should be shown right up.
Yeah.
That should be basically the to me the leaders.
Yeah.
Those are the true leaders.
True.
You know.
Yeah. I know. I agree with you on that one
Yeah.
for sure. But it is these
Mhm.
people, that are in positions of power and fame. Like Colette's got quite a lot of fame around her now, but she's been doing this for a long time.
Mhm.
But there's a credibility in it, you know, um,
That's right.
and that's really important. I remember being
Absolutely.
in Sweden, and I met God. What was she? She was a powerful woman in politics, and I can't
Hmm.
remember her title, but she had a very high position. And she came up and she said, "And what do you do?" And in that moment, I was like, "Do I say what I really do?" You know? And I didn't. I was not totally empowered in that moment. She had so much credibility, so much power that I felt kind of overpowered. And I went away and I went home and I was so upset with myself. I was like, why didn't I just step forward, shake her hand, and say, I am an oracle, right?
But back in
But
those days, right? Like back in the
yeah,
time where we're just starting to gain our confidence to, well, in the time where we felt like it was woo woo, everything was woo woo. You couldn't talk about yourself, you couldn't say anything. And now I don't care what other people think. At this point, this is who I am. Even for my best friends, like if I've got or family is one of those things. I said, it doesn't matter to me. I'm who I am because that's who God made me to be. Like this is who I am. I'm owning it. If you have a problem with it, well, then that's your problem. you
yeah,
know and that's, to me, that's where equality needs to come in. This is where everyone, I have a card in my deck that's called self, and in there's a winter scene where I have snowflakes, and every person is a snowflake because every snowflake is unique. And
yeah,
then the snow will collect, when it does, into the collective consciousness, which is snow. So to me, if we are all unique, then we need to honor each and every uniqueness that we are, right? And when we're part of the collective, then we don't, judgment is for this realm. It's just for the 3D realm, if we want to call it 3D, but this vibrational realm, duality. We don't need that where we're going.
Remember this scene in Battlestar Galactica? I don't know if you watched that series.
Yes,
It
I
was
did.
really good. And the whole world
Yes.
falls apart and Earth gets destroyed and they're out in space and the government officials come together and they actually have a priestess. There's a
Mm-hmm.
priestess and
Yes.
and she was honored and had dignity and respect. And I thought, wow, that's what we need in this world. And so
Mm-hmm.
now if I could do a do-over, I'd be like, I am a new paradigm priestess and oracle. And if you need any guidance, here's my card.
I like the way you think.
Because I do now have some clients in politics. And I do help them and I help guide them and I help them navigate. And that's in the
Good.
old ways. That's exactly what we did. And so
Yes.
we're emerging and awakening and reclaiming our power.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it feels
Yeah.
really good. Feels
Oh, it
really
does it.
good.
It's about time. It's about time.
So
And you know
Lygia,
what's nice too
oh,
about it is it's transformational. It's a
yeah.
transformational shift in paradigm as well too. So what did happen before is actually happening in a more uh, again aligned. That's a word I could say, aligned way for what the world is today.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that that she embodied that energy, but that could be a story that I made up as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that leadership is owning and having responsibility for our energy. And so I want to just own that it could have been the story that I was making up as well. And how can
Right.
we, right, reinvent ourselves and take our power back is the responsibility of owning our own stories.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Agreed.
goodness, we could talk about empowerment for the rest of this summit time, but we'll get back to the questions.
Right.
So, back on track. So, I think you already talked a little bit about the qualities in leadership, but can you tell me a
Mhm.
few more qualities that you feel are important for new paradigm leadership?
Well, I would have to say that basically, if we were looking at the top three, um, I would go to someone who stands unabashedly in their divine power, one who would share their wisdom without letting ego get into the way or, would want that to influence, and the person who has compassion and kindness as they're helping. So those are three qualities I think are the top ones to be able to be an adequate leader. The rest is experience. So gaining the experience. Well, I think that was part and parcel as to what we had to do in the first place to actually gain the experience, gain the wisdom that we can help others with. But those qualities need to kind of be placed into a leader now, because I don't think that there's enough of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Mm. And here's the biggest question of all. Prepare yourself. If you were made leader of the world, what would you do? How would you begin to create the new
Well,
feminine paradigm?
I would have to say I'm looking for like the end goal. The end goal would be a world where there's peace and compassion, and we have the shared wisdom, where it will allow for the equality that is part of our realm of existence. So, where all of us recognize that we are abundant and that we're here to help other people, so service to others. And if I were to do that, I would say our divine power is very vibrational. It is energetic and vibrational, and vibration is very much part of the universe. So I would probably work with one person at a time in that sense, if I were to, or basically in a community setting where we can get groups of individuals together. We work on using our vibrational methods to help and heal. And that would be sending out the energy to the world. So when you get groups together, maybe more frequently, that would help a lot. So I think we're slowly getting there just because a lot of people are meeting in groups, depending upon if it's the solstices, the equinoxes, and the full moons or new moons or any other ceremonial type of gathering. And I believe that that has been helping. So I would try to change the world that way if I was to look at it realistically. And if I had the superhero finger, I'd probably just point the finger and everything would just be equality. But I don't really have that. So in this case, that's what I would do to speed up things a bit, because we know that energy and vibration has a lot to do with where our consciousness is at the moment too. And who's to say as well that we are supposed to speed everything up? What if it is just pretty much going the way that it should? You know, it's just a thought. If I were to look at changing something, I mean, if there was a way of actually changing the way that leadership is right now, then, you know, when it comes to political leadership or financial or medical or any, you know, anything of that sort, I would love to be able to replace that with someone who is of a different mind, of a higher mind, of a more higher perspective, and absolutely keeping, again, the balance of the divine feminine and masculine in that person. Because I believe that that's what needs to happen in equality.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that's much of an answer, but it's basically what I would try to do.
Well, I think what stands out for me the most of what you said, if you had a magic wand with equality, you would just like bring equality to the world. I'm like, I'm going to vote for you.
Yes, exactly. Right. It's like ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding. If only it was that easy, right?
I know. That's all we can ask for, right?
I know.
It's just, but no, I agree. I agree with that.
I agree with you too. Equality is so important.
Mm-hmm.
I just wrote a speech and about I have a vision of equality for the summit, and it felt so good. Something that was bubbling away in my mind for a long, long time, many years, and I finally did it, and it felt so empowered to,
yes,
you know, take that step forward and be the creatrix and put that out there. So,
oh yes,
yeah, felt very empowered. I have an empowered vision of equality. It was great.
Nice,
Yeah.
awesome.
So, I think that I missed one question, and this question is, when you hear the words "awaken the new feminine paradigm," what emerges for you?
Well, I would say that when I think of the awakening, the new feminine paradigm, I think we need to integrate our own divine power in forming a world that runs with compassionate wisdom that we offer to others in guidance. That's one of the major things. And it's literally the next level thinking and consciousness. That's what should be happening. I believe too that we're in the beginning stages of that awakening of the paradigm right now, and that it offers us that chance to hold our power while we look at equality and bringing equality into its play. So that to me is it's important. It's like, to me it's also recognizing that uniqueness that we each and every one of us has, and recognizing that as we are unique, we still are together as one. So hopefully that's the, you know, that kind of follows suit. I also feel that we're going in the right direction for this as well, for the age of Aquarius, for the era that we're in.
Yeah, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you that one more time because I thought it was really good, and I'm doing a promo video. I'll edit this and cut it, but I'd like to put that in there because it was quite it sang to me just now. So I'm just going to ask you again, and then so what does awaken the new feminine paradigm mean to you? What emerges for you when you hear the words?
I 100% believe that we are integrating, or at at this stage of integrating our own divine power, and that's what's forming in the world right now, alongside compassionate wisdom that is offered to others in guidance. And it's literally the next level in thinking, in consciousness. That's what we're seeing too. The old paradigm is shifting. Well, actually, I think the old paradigm is crumbling, and the new paradigm is coming up. And that is, we're in the beginning stages of that awakening right now, so that it gives us that chance to hold our power while we are looking at equality in the world. So
Beautiful.
yeah, we're unique individuals, but we have to also recognize how we are one with our uniqueness too. We take everything that we are individually, but we bring it all together in this cohesive world. So yeah, that's
beautiful.
kind of what I see is happening.
Yeah, great. And do you have any last and final words of wisdom?
Well, one of the things I would have to say is with regards to my card deck, actually, and recognizing that we all have the power within us. That we, if we only believe that we have a power that is governing us, that is higher than we are, and I'm talking spirit, not any one, but basically spirit, the universe, our higher self. We are moving along a specific path where, yes, we do have a little bit of free will. Yet, I mean, actually, we have a lot of free will, but basically, we are following along this path. And we're going to hit those markers because we believe in this power that's going to help us. We're never alone, ever. So, that said, do not be afraid of anything that comes your way. Let fear go. Embrace your power, because there's so much that you can do, bringing in abundance and love and compassion and kindness and anything that you would ever want. So that is basically being your authentic self, unabashedly, standing in your power and believing that you are way more than you think you are.
I love that. Yay.
That is actually in my card deck.
Oh,
So
that's beautiful. I love that
to
so
remind
much.
everyone.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
so good to remember that we are so powerful and to be reminded. I call it spiritual amnesia. Sometimes we
Yes.
just can fall asleep, and we need
Mm-hmm.
card decks like yours and people to remind us and reflect back. You are powerful.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. And do you have a free little gift for everyone?
I do indeed, actually. As part of my contribution to bringing everybody back into that state of abundance, recognizing your abundance, I actually have a card in my deck called Abundance, which I am doing a meditation for. In fact, I am doing meditations for every card in the deck as part of what Spirit wants me to. And so that said, I have the meditation available for free. So I will be giving you the link to send in for the audio
Oh,
for anyone to
wonderful.
watch or anyone to
Oh,
listen
that'll be
to.
wonderful. Oh, thank
Mm-hmm.
you. Thank you so much. We are so similar. One of my cards in the deck is abundance mindset. So
Oh, yeah, we should go through that just to find out how
I
many cards
know.
are actually aligned.
I know exactly. Great
That's
minds think
awesome.
alike.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not
That's
abundance,
awesome.
but it's abundance mindset. So, yeah.
Yes, and it follows pretty much suit, like the same, that the content is pretty much the same in the guidebook. So yes, that is awesome. I'm glad we're aligned.
I know. I've been teaching people how to manifest for a long time. I've been manifesting my most abundant life for, well, since I discovered it. A long time, like 30 years. I've manifested all sorts of things. My partner, my home,
Hmm.
my life.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
I getcha.
powerful. It's powerful
It
work.
is.
So, what a
It
wonderful
is.
meditation to offer people. Thank you so much. That
Oh,
sounds wonderful. I'm looking forward to to doing the meditation. You can never have too much abundance in your life.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, that's beautiful. Thank you very much. It's part of my thank you too. Thank you so much for having me on. I very much appreciate it. It was absolutely beautiful and perfect timing. Once again, everything is in perfect timing. So thank you again.
Completely soul aligned. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today, and for your wisdom and your empowerment. I can feel the empowerment through our conversation. It feels really good. I feel ignited.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. That's my goal.
I know.
Inspiration,
I
ignition.
know. Oh, thank you so much. Sending you so much love and so
Sending you
much
love too.
abundance and good energy and all good things to you and your partner on your, it's kind of like a gypsy journey, isn't it?
Yes, it is actually. It's very much so. Thank you so much too. It is life changing and altering, and I can't wait to actually write about it. So,
I know, I
yeah.
know. And one day I hope to tour with you and do a little
Yes.
gypsy caravan.
Oh, that would be incredible.
Wouldn't
So,
that be
yes,
fun?
absolutely.
Oh,
Yes,
all
it
my hair
would.
just stood on end. I've got truth bumps. I'm like, oh boy, I
Yeah.
feel it happening. We're manifesting it as we speak.
Agreed. Agreed. You can manifest anything you want. So, yes, absolutely.
Aw. Well,
Yeah.
so
Thanks
much
again.
love and abundant blessings to each and every one of you on your journey today. Mwah.
Appreciate it. Mwah. Thank you very much. And yeah, I look forward to actually seeing everything come about. I know that some really, really good things are happening. Really good things. So
Thank
glad.
you.
Thanks.